The small human scout ship moved alone through the dark space between stars. It was old, but careful. Its metal body was scratched from travel, and its engine made a soft hum like a tired animal. Inside the ship, one human sat at the control seat and watched the wide black sky on the screen. His name was Aaron. He was not a famous soldier. He was only a scout who checked routes and marked safe paths for larger ships. He had been in space for many months. He missed the blue oceans of Earth and the smell of rain. Still, he did his duty with calm focus. His orders were simple. Scan the edge of a distant sector where signals had gone silent. Many ships had passed there before and sent no reports back. Command wanted to know why. At first, the mission felt normal. The stars were quiet. His tools showed only rocks and cold moons. Then his screen flickered. A weak signal appeared and vanished. He leaned forward and tried to catch it again. The signal returned, stronger this time, but it was not human. The pattern was sharp and strange. Aaron sent a short message to command, but the reply did not come. Static filled his speaker. He tried a different channel. Nothing answered. The silence felt heavy. He told himself it was just distance and dust in space. Yet his hands moved faster on the controls. A shadow passed over his ship. He looked up at the main screen. At first, he thought it was a glitch. Then the stars disappeared behind a massive shape. A huge vessel floated above him. It was long like a blade and covered in dark plates. Blue lights glowed along its sides like cold eyes. Before he could turn away, a beam of pale light struck his ship. His tools screamed warnings. The engine lost power. The scout ship shook like a leaf in a storm. Aaron tried to send a distress call, but the system shut down. The last thing he saw was the giant vessel opening like a mouth. When he woke, he was not in his seat. He lay on a hard floor inside a dim room. The air smelled dry and sharp. His head hurt. He pushed himself up and looked around. The walls were smooth and gray with faint lines of light. There was no window. A low barrier of energy blocked one side of the room like a clear wall. He was in a cell. Aaron checked his body. No blood. No broken bones. His suit was gone, replaced by simple clothes. Someone had treated him, but also taken his tools. He walked to the energy barrier and reached out. A soft sting pushed his hand back. Not deadly, just a warning. Footsteps echoed outside. Two tall figures stopped near the barrier. They were not human. Their bodies were larger, their skin a deep ash color. They wore armor that looked grown, not built. Their eyes were bright yellow and unblinking. One of them spoke in a rough voice. A device on the wall translated the sound into human words. The voice said the prisoner was awake. The other figure said, humans were fragile and often broke during capture. He sounded almost bored. Aaron stayed quiet. He watched and listened. Fear sat in his chest, but he did not let it rule his face. Training had taught him that much. The guards talked as if he were an object. They said the human fleet had been seen far away, and that one scout meant little. One guard laughed and said humans burned bright, but died fast. The other agreed. Then a new sound came from the hall. Slow steps, heavier than the guards. The two aliens straightened at once. Their posture changed from relaxed to sharp respect. A third figure appeared. This one was older. Time showed on his body. His armor was marked and worn. One of his horns was chipped. Scars crossed his hands and neck. His eyes were not bright yellow like the others. They were dim gold, like lights at the end of a long day. He looked at Aaron for a long moment without speaking. His gaze was steady, not cruel, not kind, just heavy with thought. The guards greeted him with honor in their own tongue. The wall device did not translate that part, but the tone was clear. This alien held rank. The elder asked if this was the human found near the border. Yes, the guard said, a lone scout. The elder stepped closer to the energy barrier. Aaron felt that gaze again. It was like being measured, not for size, but for something deeper. The elder spoke slowly so the translator could follow. He said,
One guard seemed confused. Hey.
He said prisoners from small species were often traded or studied quickly. Keeping one alive wasted supplies. The elder turned his head slightly. That small movement carried weight. The guard fell silent. The elder said he would speak to the human himself. He said he had history with humans. That word made Aaron focus. History. The guards obeyed and stepped back. The hall grew quiet. Only the low hum of the ship filled the air. The elder stood before the barrier and studied Aaron again. Aaron met his gaze. He remembered his training. Show calm, show mind. Panic helps no one. The elder finally spoke. He asked if the human understood the translator. Aaron said yes in a steady voice. The elder nodded once. He said the human ship had entered a war zone. Many fleets fought here. Borders changed often. Lives ended quickly. Aaron said he was only a scout and meant no harm. The elder replied that space did not care about intent, only presence. For a moment, neither spoke. Then the elder said something strange. He said he had fought humans many years ago, on worlds of fire and ice, in places where even strong species feared to land. Aaron felt a chill. He had heard old stories of first contact wars. They were not taught in full detail, only in pieces. The elder lifted one scarred hand and rested it behind his back. He looked almost tired. He said most young warriors thought humans were weak. Short lives, soft skin, small bodies. One guard in the hall gave a small sound of agreement. The elder did not look at the guard. He kept his eyes on Aaron. Then he said a line that made the room feel colder. He said, "Before you die, I will tell you who humans really are." The words were not shouted. They were calm. That made them heavier. Aaron felt his heart beat faster, but he forced his voice to stay level. He asked why the elder would say that. The elder answered that truth should be known, even by an enemy, especially by an enemy. He turned slightly and signaled the guards to leave them. The guards hesitated, then walked away down the hall. The elder remained. He moved to a small panel and touched it. The lights in the cell softened. The air grew warmer. He said the human would not be harmed yet. This ship had larger battles ahead. A single prisoner was not the main concern. Aaron asked what would happen to him. The elder replied that fate moved with the war. If the ship survived, choices would be made. If the ship fell, choices would not matter. That answer gave no comfort, but it was honest. The elder looked at the far wall as if seeing a memory there. He said he once saw a human stand on a broken field with fire all around. The human was wounded and could not win. Still he stood. He stopped speaking then, as if saving the rest for later. Aaron wanted to ask more, but he sensed the elder shared only what he chose. A distant tremor ran through the floor. The ship shifted slightly. The elder noticed but did not react strongly. Maybe it was normal for a warship. He told Aaron to rest while he could. War rarely gave long pauses. Then he turned and walked away with slow, firm steps. The hall swallowed his shape. Aaron sat on the floor of the cell. His mind raced. He thought of Earth, of the command base, of the friends who might notice his silence. He did not know if anyone had seen his capture. He also thought about the elder's words. They did not sound like hate. They sounded like memory. Time passed. The lights dimmed and brightened in cycles that might be day and night. No one spoke to him again for a while. Food came through a small slot. Simple, but enough. Once he heard alarms far away. Running steps. Distant booms. The ship was truly in a war zone. During one quiet cycle, Aaron stood by the barrier and looked at his faint reflection. He told himself that humans had survived worse. Space was wide, and luck moved in strange ways. He remembered stories of rescue ships that arrived at the last second. He did not fully believe in miracles, but he believed in people. Somewhere on this giant ship walked an old warrior who knew something about humans that others did not. That thought stayed in his mind. The cell door area glowed again. The elder returned alone. He did not speak yet. He simply looked at the human as if checking whether he was still strong inside. Aaron stood to face him. The elder finally said that the war outside was growing. Lines were being drawn. Soon this region would burn. He added that the humans' people might come searching. Humans often searched longer than logic advised. That small line gave Aaron a quiet spark of hope. The elder turned to leave once more, but before he did, he said the next time they spoke, he would begin the true story. Then he walked away, leaving the human with questions and a thin thread of hope in the dark of an alien ship moving toward battle. Aaron could not sleep well. The quiet hum of the alien ship and the dim lights made him feel trapped in a shadowed tunnel. He sat on the floor of his cell, thinking about the old warrior. The words, "Before you die, I will tell you who humans really are," repeated in his mind. He wondered why an alien would care about humans enough to speak of them with respect. The door opened again, not with alarms this time, but with a slow hiss. The elder walked in alone, his armor scuffed and his steps careful. Aaron stood and faced him. This time, the elder did not need words at first. He looked at the human as if weighing time itself. Finally, the elder spoke. He said he would tell a story from long ago, a memory that shaped his thoughts. Aaron listened closely, knowing this was the start of understanding. The elder began on a distant world, a planet of fire and rock. Humans had landed there long ago. They were a small force, far outnumbered by local species. The aliens had better weapons and machines that roared across the land. Victory seemed simple, but the humans did not flee in panic. They set their wounded on stretchers and carried them across burning fields. One young human refused to leave a friend who had fallen in the first clash. The elder watched from a distance and could not believe what he saw. Most species left the weak behind. Humans did not. They moved carefully, covering each other, even when the ground shook with explosions. The elder had fought many species, and strategy was often just about numbers. Humans used numbers too, but in a different way. They risked themselves to save others, creating strength in their unity. Aaron felt his chest tighten. He thought about the humans he knew, friends who had stood by him through small dangers. He realized that courage was not just in battle, but in caring. The elder continued. The humans completed their mission despite the fire and chaos. One human leader gave orders while bleeding from a shoulder wound. The elder's forces had machines ready to crush them, yet the humans adapted. They used the landscape, old tools, and their quick thinking. Each time the elder believed the humans would break, they did something unexpected. He admitted that during the battle, he had changed his mind about humans. Before, he thought they were weak, fragile, and short-lived. Now, he saw something different. He saw a species that refused to surrender even when survival seemed impossible. Aaron asked, softly, what happened to the humans? The elder paused and said many fell, as all soldiers do. But the ones who lived changed the way wars were fought afterward. Their courage became a lesson, not just for their people, but even for enemies. That small group had influenced many strategies, even alien ones. Long after the fight ended, the elder looked away, and his voice softened. He spoke of human determination, the way they could focus on hope rather than just fear. He said humans saw possibilities when others only saw death. That, he said, was what made them dangerous and remarkable. Aaron stayed quiet, absorbing every word. He felt both pride and disbelief. Bah! He had heard tales of heroic humans before, but this came from one of their oldest enemies, a being who had fought humans and survived. The elder shifted slightly and said he remembered one more detail. Even when surrounded, humans found small ways to help each other. They shared water, food, and encouragement. He had watched a human carry a wounded alien soldier from the battlefield, risking life for an enemy. That act surprised him more than any weapon or machine. Aaron blinked. Could humans really be capable of such things? His training taught caution. But this story gave him hope. The elder then spoke of strategy, but not in the usual sense. He explained how humans learned quickly from failure. Each defeat taught them something new. They would not repeat the same mistake twice. That was why even a small number of humans could challenge larger forces. Their minds were flexible, their will unbreakable. Aaron felt a warmth of connection to the human past. He realized that history was alive in every human who faced impossible odds. He also realized that this alien, this elder, had begun to understand humans in a way that no one else in this ship would. Respect had grown slowly from observation, from remembering. The elder paused and looked at Aaron. He said that humans often died young compared to other species. Yet, in their short time, they could change history more than any creature expected. Life was brief, but the impact was immense. That, he said, was what humans were truly capable of. Outside the cell, distant alarms sounded briefly, but the elder did not flinch. The ship shook faintly, reminding Aaron of the dangers surrounding them. Yet the elder's calmness created a strange balance. The human felt less fear, even as he remained a prisoner. The elder continued, speaking of a small village on a cold, rocky moon. It had been attacked by raiders who outnumbered the villagers many times. The humans had no advanced weapons, only old tools and ingenuity. They built defenses from farm machinery and simple materials, turning every small object into a shield or weapon. Aaron listened, imagining the tiny humans fighting in the cold, working together to protect each other. They did not wait for outsiders. They acted immediately. Even the oldest and youngest joined the defense. By morning, the raiders had fled, surprised by the cleverness and unity of a people they thought weak. The elder said his forces later adopted some of those tactics. He admitted, almost reluctantly, that humans had taught him lessons in strategy without ever knowing it. Aaron felt a thrill. The enemy of his species had learned from them and remembered it for decades. He asked quietly why the elder shared these stories. The old alien's gaze held him firmly. He said he wanted humans to be understood, not underestimated. Many of his species thought humans simple and easy to defeat. That mistake had cost lives in the past. Aaron thought about Earth, about the people he might return to, or those who might have already perished in battles elsewhere. He did not know what was real and what was hope. Yet, hearing the elder's words gave him a strange sense of safety. The elder told him to rest. War would continue outside. He would not return immediately, but the stories had begun. In the hours that followed, Aaron lay on the floor and thought of humans standing firm on distant planets, small but brave. He closed his eyes and remembered the courage in those tales. Alarms sounded again, louder this time. Aaron felt the vibrations under his feet. The ship trembled. The elder returned to check briefly and nodded at him. The human could see that the elder's concern was not just for the ship, but for the truth he wanted to share. Aaron realized then that the elder was not cruel, even if his kind had captured him. He was a warrior who respected strength, courage, and willpower, and he had begun to see that in humans. As the ship moved toward the next battle, the human lay on the floor, tired but alert. He thought about the fires and icy worlds described by the elder. He thought about humans standing, fighting, saving friends, and teaching lessons without realizing it. He began to understand the words that had filled the room with weight. Before you die, I will tell you who humans really are. Time passed. The hum of the ship, distant explosions, and faint tremors created a rhythm that merged with Aaron's heartbeat. The elder occasionally returned to check, never speaking much, only watching, reminding him that the stories were not finished. Aaron realized that each story was a window into something bigger. Humans were fragile yet formidable, small yet influential. He could not predict what the elder would reveal next, but he knew he must listen carefully. And so he waited, prisoner and student, as the old alien warrior prepared to share more memories, more truths, and more lessons about humanity that no one else had seen or understood. Aaron had grown more aware of his surroundings. Each hum of the alien ship, each vibration of the floor, reminded him that he was a prisoner in a place of war. Yet, his mind clung to the stories of humans the elder had told. Those memories painted courage and hope even in the darkest spaces of the galaxy. The elder returned once again. He moved slowly, but his presence filled the room. Aaron noticed scars on his hands, some old, some fresh. Each mark seemed to tell a story of battles and victories. The elder paused near the energy barrier and looked at Aaron with eyes that carried the weight of decades. He spoke of another human event, this time on a remote colony at the edge of known space. The colony had been small, its people farmers and workers, not trained soldiers. A band of marauders attacked suddenly, expecting little resistance. They laughed at the humans, thinking them easy prey. The elder described how the humans acted. They were few, armed only with old tools and simple weapons. Yet they did not surrender. Instead, they worked together. Machines meant for farming became shields. Simple devices became traps. Every person, even the youngest and oldest, contributed in some way. The humans adapted quickly, using their environment to gain an advantage. Aaron listened, imagining the scene. Small humans standing against superior numbers, working together not for glory, but for survival. The elder paused and said that the humans had no guarantee of victory. Every action carried risk, yet they acted with unity and courage. He told how the humans learned from each mistake. When a plan failed, they adjusted immediately. They shared knowledge with each other, teaching the inexperienced and coordinating with precision. By the end of the battle, the raiders had fled, surprised and defeated. The humans had won, not by superior strength, but by their cleverness and determination. The elder admitted, almost reluctantly, that his own forces had later studied these tactics. What seemed like simple farming tools became inspiration for defense strategies. Humans had taught him lessons without intending to do so. Aaron felt a mix of pride and disbelief. He had never imagined that humans could be so influential in such a subtle way. The elder looked directly at Aaron, his voice calm but firm. He explained that humans were dangerous, not because they were the strongest or the fastest or the longest lived. They were dangerous because they never gave up. They protected each other, they learned, and they adapted. Their will was unbreakable, even when the world seemed against them. Aaron thought of Earth, of the countless humans who had faced hardships and challenges, small and large. He realized that courage was not measured by size or weapons, but by heart and mind. Humans could do more with less because they believed in each other and in hope. The elder continued, telling stories of humans on icy planets and scorching deserts. Each story painted a picture of survival against impossible odds. Humans faced environmental dangers, hostile species, and scarcity, yet they always found ways to endure. Their strength was not in brute force, but in intelligence, teamwork, and resilience. Aaron asked quietly why the elder shared these stories with him. The old warrior's eyes softened. He said that too many in his species underestimated humans. They judged by appearances and lifespan, failing to see the real measure of power, the heart and the mind. He wanted Aaron to know, even as a prisoner, that humans were far more than they seemed. A faint rumble shook the ship. Alarms sounded briefly in the distance. The elder did not react strongly, but Aaron noticed the tension in the air. The ship was in a war zone, and danger was constant, yet the elder's calmness suggested that he understood the bigger picture, the lessons that humans represented. He told Aaron that the universe often judged species by their strength alone. Many powerful species ruled regions of space without challenge. Humans, by contrast, were underestimated at every turn. That mistake had cost lives, both human and alien. And yet, humans persisted, changed, and sometimes turned failure into victory. Aaron realized that the elder's respect was not given lightly. This warrior had fought humans, observed them, and learned from them. That history, carried in the scars and eyes of the elder, made him unique among his kind. The elder moved to a corner and touched a small panel. Lights shifted, showing holographic images of past battles. Humans moved across strange landscapes, small in number but large in courage. They adapted and survived, leaving marks that would last in memory far longer than their brief lives. Aaron watched, captivated. He began to understand the elder's fascination. Humans were unpredictable, clever, and relentless. They could change outcomes not through raw power, but through heart, intelligence, and unity. The elder had seen this firsthand, and his respect had grown into something almost reverent. The elder spoke again, his voice carrying a quiet authority. He said humans were rare in their combination of traits: compassion, courage, intelligence, and adaptability. Other species might possess one or two, but humans had them all. That combination, he said, was why humans could survive where others failed. Aaron reflected on his own life, the people he had known, the challenges he had faced. He realized that the stories were not just about past battles, but about the essence of humanity. Humans were more than soldiers or scouts. They were problem solvers, protectors, and learners. They endured not because they were forced, but because they chose to. A distant alarm rang again. The ship shuddered more violently this time. Aaron looked at the elder, who remained calm, watching him. The old warrior said that the next time they spoke, he would tell the story of the first human he ever fought, and how it changed his life forever. Aaron felt a mixture of fear and anticipation. The stories had already shown him courage, unity, and cleverness. What could the first battle reveal that the elder had not already shared? The elder gave one last look before leaving the room. His shadow stretched along the floor, long and silent. Aaron sat and considered everything he had heard. The stories painted humans as small but mighty, fragile yet unbreakable. Each tale showed humans standing firm, adapting, and surviving. As the hours passed, Aaron remained alert. He watched the ship's dim lights, listened to the hum, and thought about the humans in the stories. They had faced impossible odds and survived. They had adapted, learned, and fought, not for glory, but for each other. Aaron knew that the elders' stories were far from over. The lessons, the memories, and the truths about humanity were just beginning. He felt a sense of connection, of understanding, and of hope. Humans were more than he had ever imagined, and the elders' words would guide him through the uncertainty of his captivity. In the quiet of the alien ship, Aaron sat ready. He knew that soon the next story would reveal even more, and he would be prepared to listen, to learn, and to carry the understanding of who humans really were. As the elder had promised, Aaron had grown more attentive to every sound and movement in the alien ship. The stories of humans that the elder shared had filled his mind with courage and hope, but the reality of his imprisonment remained. The walls of the cell were gray and smooth, the air cold but breathable. Every vibration of the ship reminded him that he was far from home and in the middle of a war he did not fully understand. The elder returned. His steps were slow, deliberate, yet carried the weight of authority. His scars were visible in the dim light, proof of countless battles. He stopped near the energy barrier that held Aaron and looked at him steadily. No words were spoken at first. The silence carried a strange tension, a calm before a storm. Then the elder spoke, telling of another human event, this time not on distant planets, but closer to conflict zones that had been fought for years. A human convoy had been ambushed by a larger enemy force. The humans were outnumbered, outgunned, and trapped between hostile terrain and a faster, stronger foe. Yet they did not panic. They did not scatter. Instead, they acted with precision and teamwork. The elder described how the humans created distractions, using small vehicles and devices to confuse the enemy. They shared information instantly, adjusting their positions and attacks in real time. Each human protected another, forming a living network of strategy and defense. The elder admitted that his own forces had difficulty anticipating their moves, because humans did not act like other species. They were unpredictable, clever, and adaptive. Aaron listened, amazed. He imagined humans coordinating silently, reacting quickly and thinking ahead even when surrounded. The elder explained that humans did not fight only for victory, but for each other. The bonds between them created strength far beyond their numbers or weapons. Suddenly, the ship shook violently, alarms blared, and red lights flashed. The floor vibrated under Aaron's feet. He grabbed onto the barrier as distant explosions shook the vessel. The elder did not move, standing calmly, his gaze fixed on the human. He spoke over the alarm, explaining that the ship was under attack by an unknown fleet. This was the danger the humans had faced before, multiplied across space. Aaron's heart raced. The sound of approaching ships, the pounding alarms, the shaking floor, made fear rise. Yet he also felt a strange confidence. The elder had survived human battles and learned from them. Now, he seemed to understand something important about human tactics. Aaron wondered what the elder knew and what he intended to do. Outside, the enemy ships approached, sleek and fast. The elder turned to Aaron and said quietly that humans rarely abandon their own. Rescue might come, even when hope seemed lost. Aaron's mind raced. Could humans be near? Could they arrive in time? The elder gave instructions. He signaled the guards, who moved quickly to follow orders despite the alarms. The ship's crew panicked, but the elder remained calm. Aaron noticed the difference. The old warrior understood the tactics of humans not just from memory, but from study. He knew that humans could use cunning, courage, and unity to strike at impossible odds. Then, Aaron saw them. Human ships emerged from the shadows of distant asteroids, small but precise, moving in formations designed to confuse the enemy. Aaron recognized the strategies the elder had described. Humans did not charge blindly. They adapted. They protected one another. They advanced and retreated, as one mind, one unit. The elder observed silently, nodding slightly. His eyes carried respect, admiration, and a touch of awe. Aaron felt that the elder's stories were not just memory, they were understanding, and understanding had transformed into action. The alien crew struggled to respond to the human tactics. Their weapons were powerful, their numbers strong, yet they were disoriented by the humans' clever maneuvers. The elder's calmness suggested that he knew the outcome could change rapidly if humans were involved. Aaron watched in amazement. The humans protected each other, coordinated their attacks, and avoided traps. They moved with purpose, showing courage and intelligence. It was exactly what the elder had described. Not brute force, but unity and cleverness. The battle outside grew fiercer. Explosions rocked the ship, and alarms rang endlessly. Yet inside the cell, Aaron felt a strange calm. He realized that humans, even in small numbers, could turn the tide. The elder had known this for decades, and now Aaron could witness it firsthand. The elder approached Aaron again. His voice was steady, almost gentle amid the chaos. He said that the human strength was in their will, their ability to fight for others, and adapt to any situation. That was what made them formidable, not their size or weapons. Aaron understood fully now. Humans were dangerous because they cared, because they learned, and because they refused to give up. Suddenly, one of the alien guards rushed in. Panicked, he said that the enemy fleet had breached several compartments and that the ship was at risk of destruction. The elder nodded but remained calm. He signaled for Aaron to follow him. The energy barrier lifted, and Aaron stepped into the hall. They moved through the ship, dodging fires and falling debris. The elder guided him, not as a captor, but as someone who understood the human potential for survival. Aaron realized that this warrior, who had fought humans and learned from them, now trusted him enough to lead him through danger. They reached a command area where the Elder took control, directing the alien crew with precision. He used knowledge of human tactics, explaining positions, maneuvers, and timing. The crew, initially fearful and disorganized, began to respond. The old warrior's respect for humans translated into strategy that saved lives. Aaron watched, amazed. The humans outside moved in exact synchrony with the Elder's instructions. Their attacks were clever, coordinated, and precise. Slowly, the tide of battle shifted. The enemy ships faltered under unexpected strategies and relentless human determination. The Elder turned to Aaron briefly. He said that humans never abandoned each other, that they never gave up hope, and that their will could change the outcome of any battle. Aaron understood fully now. The stories had come alive in the reality of the war. Finally, after intense moments, the enemy fleet began to retreat. The human ships advanced just enough to force them back, clever and precise in their maneuvers. The Elder watched silently, satisfied, yet cautious. Aaron felt a surge of pride, knowing that humans had influenced this victory with skill and unity. The alarms died down, the ship trembled less, fires were controlled, and the crew began to assess damage. The Elder turned to Aaron once more, his voice calm but filled with meaning. He said that humans were dangerous, not because of power alone, but because of their courage, adaptability, and care for each other. That was the truth he had promised to reveal. Aaron stood silently, absorbing the lesson. He realized that humans could survive against overwhelming odds, not because they were the strongest or fastest, but because they believed in each other, adapted quickly, and never gave up. The Elder had witnessed it firsthand, and now allowed Aaron to witness it as well. The battle was over for now, but Aaron knew it was only the beginning. He had seen humans in action, and he understood why the Elder respected them so deeply. As the ship moved forward, still damaged but functional, Aaron waited for the next story, the next memory, and the final revelation of who humans truly were. The ship had quieted after the battle, though damage signs were clear. Fires smoldered in corners, alarms occasionally rang, and the floor trembled faintly from residual shocks. Aaron walked carefully through the corridors, guided by the Elder. The human was still a prisoner, yet he felt a strange bond forming with the old warrior. The Elder had shown respect, shared knowledge, and trusted him enough to navigate through danger. The Elder stopped in a central chamber. Holographic maps floated in the air, showing the positions of fleets and planets. Aaron looked at them, amazed by the complexity, and realized how small one human seemed in the vastness of space. Yet, the Elder's eyes carried a weight that told Aaron humans could make a difference, even when small. The Elder began to speak again, slowly and deliberately. He said humans were not the strongest, not the fastest, nor the longest lived, but they were dangerous for reasons many species could not see. Aaron listened, knowing this would be the final lesson. He told the story of the first human he had ever faced in battle. It had been long ago, on a barren world, during a war between multiple species. The humans had been few, cornered, and ill-equipped. Yet one human, young but brave, had stood firm against impossible odds. The Elder had expected the human to flee, to surrender, but instead, the human fought with cleverness and courage that stunned even experienced warriors. That encounter had changed the Elder's view of humans forever. Aaron felt a mixture of pride and awe. He imagined the human from the Elder's story, small yet unyielding, and realized that bravery was a common trait among his species. The Elder continued, explaining how humans think differently. They do not give up even when logic says they should. They find ways to survive, adapt, and turn losses into lessons. That unpredictability made them formidable. The elder then spoke of compassion. Humans care for each other, for their allies, and even for strangers. He had witnessed humans rescuing enemies, protecting civilians, and risking their lives for friends. Their will to protect and their ability to connect with others gave them strength far beyond physical limits. Aaron remembered the small colony, the convoy, the battles the elder had described. Each story showed humans standing together, learning and enduring. He told Aaron that humans' resilience came from hope and unity. Even in the darkest moments, they found ways to support one another. That was why humans could survive in situations where others would fall. The elder said that many species could not understand this because they judged only by size, speed, or lifespan. Humans were different. The ship's alarms rang again, faint but constant. The enemy had retreated, but danger remained. The elder did not rush. He used the time to teach, to share, and to ensure that Aaron understood the lesson. He emphasized that human strength lay not just in battles, but in character, intelligence, and will. Aaron walked beside the elder, absorbing every word. He realized humans were capable of extraordinary things because they valued each other, adapted quickly, and never gave up. They could change the course of events, not with raw power alone, but with cleverness, courage, and care. The elder guided Aaron to a viewing deck. Through transparent panels, the human could see stars, planets, and the distant fleets. Some human ships were still visible, patrolling and securing the region. The elder nodded at them and said that humans never abandon their own. They search, they fight, and they endure. That commitment made them more than what appearances suggested. Aaron felt hope swell within him. He realized that rescue was possible, that survival was possible. The elder's lessons were not just stories. They were truths, backed by experience. Humans were underestimated by many, but they had qualities that no other species could match in combination: courage, intelligence, adaptability, and compassion. The elder finally turned fully to Aaron, his voice calm but filled with meaning. He said that humans' impact was measured not by size or lifespan, but by what they could achieve together. Small or fragile as they might seem, humans had the power to influence wars, survival, and history itself. Aaron understood now. Humans were dangerous because they refused to give up, because they protected each other, and because they learned from every experience. The energy barrier lifted, and Aaron was free to move through the chamber. The elder gestured toward the ship's exit, indicating that humans outside could arrive soon. Aaron felt a surge of hope and determination. He realized that his people were clever, courageous, and united. They could survive even in the darkest circumstances. The elder watched as Aaron prepared to leave, his expression unreadable but filled with quiet respect. He said that this lesson must be remembered, carried forward, and shared. Humans' nature, their courage and compassion, could not be measured by simple strength alone. That truth, he said, was the essence of humanity. Outside, the human rescue fleet approached. Their movements were precise, coordinated, and adaptive. They used strategies that complemented what the elder had described, protecting each ship, avoiding traps, and working together seamlessly. Aaron realized that every story, every memory the elder had shared was now alive in the present moment. The rescue was swift and efficient. Humans boarded the alien ship, neutralizing remaining threats and securing safe passage. Aaron moved among his people, amazed at their coordination and courage. Each human acted with intelligence, unity, and determination. The elder observed, silent but approving. Finally, the battle subsided. The alien crew and Aaron's human rescuers assessed the situation. The elder turned to Aaron one last time. He said that humans should never be judged by appearances or expected lifespans. Their true measure lay in courage, intelligence, adaptability, and the will to protect one another. Aaron understood fully now. He had seen humans in action, heard their stories, and learned their essence. The elder stepped back, allowing the humans to leave. He said that history would remember them not for size or weapons, but for heart, mind, and unity. Aaron felt gratitude and respect for the warrior who had shared these lessons, who had seen humans in their true light. As Aaron boarded the rescue ship, he looked back at the elder. The old warrior saluted him not as an enemy, but as someone who had learned the truth. Aaron felt pride swelling inside him, understanding that humans could face impossible odds and survive, not because of power alone, but because of courage, adaptability, unity, and hope. The ships moved together through space, humans and allies coordinating seamlessly. Aaron realized that the stories, the battles, and the lessons had shaped him. He understood the essence of humanity. That strength was not measured in size or weapons, but in will, intelligence, and heart. Humans were formidable, unpredictable, and resilient. They were a species that could endure, adapt, and inspire. The elder's words echoed in Aaron's mind. Before you die, I will tell you who humans really are. Now, Aaron knew. Humans were more than anyone could imagine, and that truth would carry him and his people through the challenges of the galaxy. They were survivors, protectors, and learners, capable of shaping history in ways that even the oldest warriors could not fully predict. As the ships disappeared into the stars, Aaron felt hope, pride, and purpose. The lessons of the elder, the stories of courage, and the sight of human unity would remain with him forever. Humanity was small but mighty, fragile but unbreakable, ordinary in appearance but extraordinary in spirit. He understood now who humans really were, and he knew that the galaxy would never truly underestimate them again.